Hello, sacred souls. It's Susanna from Shamanic Shaman. What I have here for us tonight is creating an energetic restraining order against someone who is um, in an unhealthy connection with us where they want to be our friend or possibly more like a lover, but we don't feel the same way in return. And that might be a nice person, but it's just very one-sided and they're kind of fixated on us, in some cases more, in some cases less. But for any of those unbalanced, unhealthy connections that we might not be able to fully walk away from because maybe they're in our social circle and it would be difficult to completely break with them fully and completely and openly. Or it could be in a work situation or in a living or family situation where we don't necessarily have the option of fully and completely breaking that connection. But I do want to mention that we also have to make it verbally clear to them that we're not really open and available to what they're looking for, right? So in whatever way, and possibly in the best way that you can, just convey that to them as well. That would be important. But so what I have here is these really cool candles that have this almost a little bit like human type shape, right? Where the top part would be the head and then the chest area, the hip area, and well, the legs, kind of the base, right? So just to have sort of a stylized version in candle form. So the white one representing us as the pillar of light, and the gray one, the other person who is just emotionally not quite in a really good place to be fully strong and independent within themselves, but that they look for love and acceptance from others, right? So that sort of clingy, needy dynamic, to be loved, to be accepted, rather than them loving and accepting themselves, right? So we're going to do a cord cutting there for that restraining order, the astral or energetic restraining order, right? And because that's the message I woke up with this morning, and I knew that I had to do that sooner rather than later. So my apologies, by the way, to everyone that I haven't really been putting out a lot of videos. I have been quite drained and just tired and wanted to give myself enough rest, but also like this person has been a bit in my energy field, and I've kind of not really wanted to look at it because I didn't think it would be that to that extent, but it has become clear that there should be a clean break in a sense, right? So for also breaking their fixation, I have another walnut where I'm going to break the shell later. And last but not least, I have this sort of malformed potato that looks a little bit like a malformed heart. See, you can kind of see a little bit up here, but then down here it's not really pointy. So it just represents perfectly a malformed heart based on being brought up with conditional love rather than unconditional love, right? So when you always need to fulfill certain conditions to get the love and acceptance that should be inherent, well, that is inherent in all of us, but based on the upbringing that might be forgotten, right? So this malformed heart shall also represent that toxic dynamic of wanting, like in a clingy and needy way, that love and attention and acceptance from others, right? So that I have over here. I think that's all for now. So I'm going to jump right in. We're going to smudge and get started. Oh, and while I'm letting this burn for a moment, I also wanted to mention, in the last video, I mentioned something. Um, it was about blessing the water, but it actually, in regards to a lot of things that are part of the spiritual practice, when you start, a lot of times things, you know that it's the right thing to do and you are doing it to the best of your ability, but then you might not always feel it 100% from your heart space. Like you might still be operating more from the mind space, right? So that's actually what I felt. Like suddenly I completely felt it from my heart space when I was blessing the water, whereas before I was more doing it because I knew that it would be good and so on, right? So this is the kind of thing too, where as we heal and we are getting better at like and improving on our ascension journey, then the things that we first practice, just like when you're learning a piano, to play the piano, or martial arts or whatever you're learning, in the beginning you just have to practice the movements, and then bit by bit they become second nature until it's just a part of who you are, right? So that's also very important to keep in mind. So not so much in the sense of fake it till you make it, but more in the sense of practice makes perfect, right? Until it totally becomes who you are, or it becomes a part of who you are. Okay, with that being said, let's smudge. Please cleanse, clear, and renew all of our energies and take away anything dark, low vibrational, and unhealed, and transmute it into pure divine essence and return it to the universe for reintegration, and help us, excuse me, fully and completely reconnect to our own inner divinity, as well as that all around us, and through that help us be in oneness with all of creation. Thank you, Dankeschön, all my relations. Okay, so what's also coming up is, of course, especially in situations like these, the importance of learning to speak up, right? So the voice thing. And that is basically the most important thing when it comes to coming into our power, taking our power back, that we speak up, right? And a lot of times we might have been conditioned into staying quiet because we didn't want to rock the boat, or we wanted to conform, which is actually the biggest soul killer, really. Um, so we have to learn to heal our voice as well, and to learn to speak up again. One thing I forgot to mention here as well is when I tied the twine around the candles, I felt that since it's tighter here on this side, here this felt almost like tentacles of an octopus, or also like hands that are kind of like gripping and holding, right? It's like reaching and holding, like that whole clinging on to other people, holding on to them, grasping for them, right? Maybe if they feel like they're drowning. So yeah, all of those kind of energies. All right, with that being said, let's call in our divine team. Dear divine higher power of the universe, our higher selves, and our entire divine spirit team of the light, including the four directions, the four elements, and our ancestors that are in the light, please join the ceremony and assist the healings, prayers, and protection with all of your powers. Thank you. Please close the circle of protection around us. Thank you. All right. First, I want to give thanks for the strong guidance for this ceremony here today, and for finding the perfect candles as well. Thank you for being alive at this time to actually experience the biggest shift humanity has undergone, as far as I know, or like one of the most important ones, at least in my opinion. And letting us be a part of this ascending collective at this time, and just experiencing the wonder of everything that is slowly unfolding before us as we heal. More and more wonders and things of awe start to happen and appear. But even if you're still dealing with interference, I mean, some of that is also pretty mind-boggling, right? It's some so-called inexplicable stuff that happens that regular science just can't necessarily explain. And when you're in tune with what goes on energetically and you can see the correlation to things around you breaking or malfunctioning, and then when it's dealt with energetically, then suddenly it works again, right? So, I mean, that's just amazing. So, yeah, I just wanted to give thanks for those teachings as well. And I hope in the meantime you all had a chance to give thanks and express your gratitude as well. Oh, yes. And I actually do want to burn those ties right away, because sometimes when we hold on to stuff, like in my case, sometimes it's just not practical. I can't always do these fires. So when there's bigger stuff that needs to get burned, it does get very smoky in here. And I don't want to alert the entire house and, make them think that I have an actual fire going on in here. So, I did open my window, but if it gets too smoky, I'm going to have to cover it and snuff it out and maybe finish it later. But it is important to burn everything that needs to get burned in a ceremony or from a ceremony. And if you have any candle wax left, if you have a fire, put it in the fire. If not, you can throw out the leftover wax. But in my experience, don't keep it around. In the beginning, I just melted it down again and made new candles, which made more sense economically, but the energy still kept lingering. So I do not recommend that, okay? Just as a side note. Okay, with that being said, thank you again to our divine team. So let us get started with this healing. And first, let our own light candle be lit. Oh, a little bit more. And then that of the person in question who we're trying to disconnect from, who needs to be kept away at a safe distance by creating an energetic restraining order, right? And obviously, like, not exactly like a law thing, but just that they are basically energetically forced to keep their distance, to keep a safe distance to us, right? Okay. So let us bless this other person as well, who is simply further back on their healing journey, who is still unhealed in some aspects that we might have also struggled with in the past. I think most of us have been there at some point, so it's not that we can be really hypocritical or unfair, but when we're at the receiving end of those energies, it's just tricky, especially when we're sensitive and we get drained and we might feel suffocated or just restricted. In my case, I've also been in lack energies again, since that person has kind of more put their sort of proverbial claws a little bit into me, into my energy field, right? So, and it is often with really good intentions as well. Sometimes those people don't realize how emotionally unbalanced they are. They don't realize that they are actually quite clingy and needy. And to a 3D observer, they might not appear that way, right? They might act perfectly fine on the surface, but what goes on energetically can sometimes be quite different, right? So with that being said, let any and all connections between us and them, as much as it is possible, given the situation that, or the situation that we're in with them. So if there is a work place that you have to share, for example, then obviously that can't necessarily change, but let any and all connections that are possible to be severed at this point in time, and hopefully more can be severed in the future if that's necessary, unless that person has had a chance to heal more, right? So any and all connections, cords, shackles, chains, leashes, and soul contracts that might have created this kind of situation between us and that person clinging on to us, who wants to be in our lives and we do not feel the same in return. There can also be a power imbalance, right? So let's say maybe they look up to us, but they are not our soul family. They are not at our level. And I'm not saying this in a bad way, but they're just in a different place in their development, on their spiritual journey. So all those connections shall now and forever be cut, severed, and removed. And with that, the astral or energetic restraining order shall be put in place. And these bonds shall be burnt in a moment. But I do actually also want to do a portal closing. So give me 1 second. And also any and all portals and gateways that have allowed those kind of energies to come in and connect with us, where we have not had good enough and strong enough boundaries to let those people know right from the start that we're not open to any of this, where our own socializing and social programming, and that could be gender related as well, might have prevented us from clarifying our boundaries, that might have also enmeshment can make it very difficult for setting clear boundaries. If we had a caregiver who had zero boundaries and our boundaries were not accepted and respected, then we might not have learned to set proper boundaries. And then these people might simply think that it's okay to latch on to us, right? Because they got a false impression of what we're really feeling, because we learned to put our own needs last. And that shall also be burnt away with this. So any and all portals and gateways shall now be removed fully and completely. And I'm going to move this a little bit more to the front just to have a safer way of burning this, and just a little bit of wax to help it. Whoops. And actually, I want a little bit of salt. Give me 1 moment, please. So this unhealed person shall now be self-contained in their energy. Hold on, it's not pouring too well. So the salt shall keep their energy and their energetic projections in. They shall bounce right back to them. So all of they shall sit in their own energy and learn to basically self-soothe until they can learn to love and accept themselves for who they are, right? And let us send them lots of love and light so that they can learn to love and accept themselves fully and completely. Okay, so let us burn this. I'm gonna grab some of these. Actually, I'm gonna light it from our fire. Spirit of fire, come to us. Help us with your magic. Help us with your magic. Help us with your magic. Spirit of fire, come to us. Burn away all darkness. Burn away all darkness. Burn away all darkness. Spirit of fire, come to us. Please ignite the healing. Please ignite the healing. Please ignite the healing. Spirit of fire, come to us. We thank you for this healing. Thank you for this healing. Thank you for this healing. I'm going to open the curtain a little more so that more air can get in. One moment, please. That works. Because it will get quite smoky here, I'm sure. Actually, so far it's not too bad yet, but... Oh yeah, this is still burning too. Let me put this one out so we have at least not double the smoke. Okay, and with that being said, let this malformed heart be the representation and the manifestation of those toxic emotional needs that come out in a way that people try to desperately seek love and approval from others. And that shall now end. Whoa, that was a clean cut. Exactly right down the middle. Look at that. Whoa. Exactly. I mean, for the uneven halves, but right at the center here. Whoa. And look at that. It's like there's almost like a stream. Oh my gosh, and that makes me think of like a stream of tears, you know, like the pain that's running. It's like the waters of the pain that's running. Oh, whew. Okay. Na, 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 and one more thing. For the restraining order, I'm going to put the scissors between us to represent that energetic restraining order to keep those people away from us for basically all of our healing. It's healthier for them to find their own way, and we also need that distance and independence for our own healing rather than having someone cling on to us. And we shall all heal from that childhood wound of that suffocating love, whether it be the lack of love that was received or being suffocated by too much. So if we had a parent who was clingy and needy and suffocated us, then that's what we feel easily, right? So that wound shall also be healed, as much as the wound of more being neglected emotionally and constantly seeking that love, trying to get the love that wasn't received enough, right? So it's an imbalance in both cases, and we shall all reach a state of balance where we can handle our own love in a way that we do not depend on others, right? So that we're fully and completely happy within ourselves. And if we then meet others, we shall meet them on that level. And so it is. Thank you. Dankeschön, all my relations. And I just realized I forgot the walnut, so I'm going to crack that too. This looks like it's almost done burning. I do need to cover that soon because I do worry a little bit about my neighbors. Yeah, it looks like it's all turned to ashes already. I think it's the wax that's still burning in there. Yeah, it's pretty hot. Otherwise, I would show you, but no, it's a bit hot now. Okay, I will put this out now. So this is out. And with that being said, I'm going to move the potato over here. Oops. That one there, the axe. And let any and all fixations that are that basically have a grip and a hold on the person who wants to cling on to others, let that block that is kind of in place, right? It's like when the hand grips and it can't let go, it's like stuck almost. It's like, let that grip, that energetic and emotional grip, be released by breaking this walnut. And so it is. Thank you. Dankeschön, all my relations. I'll eat these alone, at least the bigger pieces. And if you break a walnut at home too, you can do the same. No need to waste it. It actually helps your body digest that energetically as well, not just physically. So that can help the process, and you're not wasting food. All right, I think I got the big pieces. The rest is pretty small. Oh, I already got a piece of shell. Okay. All right. With that being said, let the ceremony now be finished, and let us give massive amounts of love, thanks, gratitude, and blessings to our divine team. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for all your help and assistance in the ceremony. Please keep us strongly safe, shielded, and protected, but open the circle of protection around us, but keep us massively safe, shielded, and protected at all times with a 12D shield of golden light with a divine seal of protection. And so it is. Thank you. Dankeschön. All my relations, all our relations. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, for being a part of this ceremony, and for being on your own healing and ascension journey. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to support the channel further, there's a PayPal link down below. And I do have monthly virtual shamanic healing ceremonies, and I'm also starting, actually I just restarted local live ones, like with a real fire in the greater Toronto area, if anyone is in Canada. I haven't posted the next ones yet, but the virtual one shall be on the 3rd Sunday of June. I have to double check. There might be a time conflict somewhere. I have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure it should be fine that day. And if not, then I'll schedule it either for the week before or after. On Sunday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you head over to the Shamanic Shaman Facebook page, I will post the information there. But the login will be via meetup.com. And the group is Shamanic Fire Ceremonies. And for the live ones, also, like on both of these, you can find the information. So if you can't make it to any of those, then hopefully we will reconnect in one of the next videos via YouTube. And in the meantime, I'm sending you tons of love, light, and blessings. Be well until next time, and I wish you great abundance. May truth and integrity always be with you. Bye for now.